You know, it's funny. You spend your whole life trying to control things, your career, your relationships, your future, and still, everything seems to fall apart the moment you loosen your grip. Or worse, the moment you hold on too tightly. Tell me, have you ever done everything right and still watched it all crumble? You planned, you prepared, you stressed, and still life laughed. The relationship ended, the job slipped away, the people you trusted changed. And in that moment, you probably asked what everyone does. Why is this happening to me? We'll come back to that question. But first, I want to tell you something difficult and beautiful. You were never meant to control life. You were meant to dance with it. Now, that may sound a little poetic, a little spiritual, but it's also profoundly practical. Because the belief that you're in charge of it all, that life is a machine with levers and buttons that respond only to your effort, is the very belief that keeps you in constant anxiety. And here's the paradox. The more you try to control life, the more unpredictable it becomes. Have you noticed? We humans are strange creatures. We mistake planning for power. We schedule, forecast, worry, and analyze, all in an attempt to feel safe. But all we're really doing is building an illusion of certainty in a universe that never promised it. You see, the very nature of life is movement. It's river-alike. It twists and turns. Sometimes it's gentle, other times it rages. But it never stops, and it never once asked for your permission. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't act. I'm not saying we should sit in a chair and wait for food to fall into our laps. No, that's not trust. That's laziness. But what I am saying is this. There's a vast difference between participating in life and trying to dominate it. The person who trusts the universe acts with intention, yes, but they also understand they are part of something much larger, something far more intelligent than their ego's checklist. So what does it mean, truly, to trust the universe? Let's begin here. Trust isn't blind faith, it's deep alignment. It's the understanding that even when things fall apart, they're falling into place. But that's hard to see, isn't it? Especially when life feels like a collapse. When you lose the person you loved, when the opportunity vanishes, when illness knocks on your door, how could anyone say, trust this? But that's where trust begins. Not in the easy moments, but in the chaotic ones. Think back. I mean it. Really think. Can you remember a moment in life that felt like the end of the road, but in hindsight turned out to be a beginning? Perhaps the person who left made room for the person you were meant to meet. Perhaps the job that rejected you nudged you toward the path that now lights you up. The universe doesn't write its wisdom in straight lines. It sketches in spirals. It teaches through contrast. And most often, it removes what's not meant for us before we're ready to let go. And so we resist, we cling, we mourn, and then, slowly, we begin to understand. To trust the universe is not to say everything happens for a reason, as a kind of sugar-coated bandage. It's to say, I don't know why this is happening, but I trust that I don't need to. That's a kind of surrender most people fear. We fear that if we stop controlling, everything will fall apart. But have you noticed? Everything falls apart anyway. The difference is whether you fall with it or you let go and float. Now listen carefully. Letting go is not the same as giving up. Letting go is participating in life with respect for its intelligence. It's acting without forcing, moving without clinging, desiring without depending. When you trust the universe, you stop trying to bend it to your will. You begin to notice its invitation. A delay becomes a lesson in patience. A failure becomes a redirection. A silence becomes space to hear your own voice. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start wondering, "What is this trying to teach me?" Now, I must mention something that troubles many people. If the universe is intelligent, why is there so much suffering? Ah, a deep question. We tend to see pain as punishment, as something wrong. But perhaps pain isn't a mistake, it's a messenger. When you touch a hot stove, the pain teaches you not to do it again. When you betray yourself, the discomfort tells you you're out of alignment. When the world feels loud and cruel, it may be calling you back to softness and stillness. Pain is not the opposite of the universe's plan. Sometimes it is the plan, because the truth is, we don't grow when we're comfortable. We grow when we're cracked open. You don't trust the universe because it gives you only what you want. You trust it because, even when it doesn't, you remain whole. Now let me ask you this. How much of your energy each day is spent trying to control outcome? Think of all the tiny ways we grasp. Trying to make someone love us. Forcing an idea to work when it clearly won't. Overanalyzing every word in a text message. Constantly imagining worst-case scenarios. We call this being responsible, but really, it's just fear dressed up in logic. Letting go of control doesn't mean we don't care. It means we finally accept that we never had control in the first place. There is a kind of peace that only comes when you stop playing God. When you stop trying to fix the entire chessboard and realize you're just one piece in a grand unfolding game. And the beauty is, you don't need to see 10 moves ahead. You only need to show up, be awake, and move when the moment is right. The rest takes care of itself. You may ask, but how do I know I can trust the universe? Well, you already do. Every time you fall asleep, you trust your heart to keep beating. Every time you breathe, you trust the lungs to draw air. Every time the sun sets, you trust it will rise again, even if clouds hide it. You trust all these things without question. So, why not your life? You are not separate from the rhythm of the stars or the pulse of the tide. You are part of that same intelligence, the same energy that tells flowers to bloom in spring and trees to shed in fall moves through you too. And it knows where it's going, even when you don't. So what can you do practically? Start small. Notice resistance. When things don't go your way, pause. Feel the clench in your chest. Then ask, what if this is not against me, but for me? Practice non-attachment. Desire is fine, but hold your desires lightly, the way you'd hold a butterfly. Want it? Yes, but don't crush it in your fist. Stay curious. Life rarely gives answers up front, but if you stay open, meaning emerges over time, like stars appearing slowly in the night. Accept not knowing. Mystery is not a flaw in the system, it is the system. Learn to love the unanswered. Listen inward. Your intuition is the echo of the universe in your body, the whisper of alignment. Trust it, follow it, strengthen it. Now, trusting the universe does not mean you will always feel good. Some days you'll feel lost, angry, disappointed. That's okay. Trust doesn't mean constant happiness. It means constant openness. Openness to learning, to evolving, to seeing every chapter as necessary, even the ones you'd never choose. There is a Taoist story I love. A farmer's horse runs away. His neighbors say, "How unfortunate." He replies, "Maybe." The next day the horse returns, bringing with it 3 wild horses. The neighbors cheer, "How lucky." He says again, "Maybe." Later, the farmer's son tries to tame one of the wild horses, falls and breaks his leg. "How terrible," say the neighbors. "Maybe," he replies. Then the army comes to the village, drafting all able-bodied young men. The farmer's son is spared. You see, life cannot be judged in snapshots. What seems like a curse today may be a blessing unfolding in disguise. And what seems like a blessing may teach you your greatest lessons through its unraveling. When you trust the universe, you stop labeling everything as good or bad. You start witnessing, responding, flowing, and life becomes lighter. So now I ask you, what if you stopped trying to fix your life? What if instead you became a quiet partner in its unfolding? What if you gave the universe the same trust you give your breath, your heartbeat, your sleep? Wouldn't that be freedom? Not freedom from challenge, but freedom from the belief that you must fight it all alone. The wind does not argue with the tree. The river does not resent the stone. They simply find a way. So must you. And perhaps someday soon, you will look back at this moment, this confusion, this crossroads, and smile. Not because it was easy, but because it taught you the most valuable lesson of all. Life is not a puzzle to be solved. It's a symphony to be felt. And you don't need to conduct it. You only need to hear the music and move. Let go. Let life show you what it's always been trying to give you. Trust, not because it's easy, but because deep down you already know it's the only way to be truly alive.